Have you ever wondered why so many people, even after sleeping all night, wake up tired, listless, and with a foggy mind? It seems contradictory. We spend 8 hours lying down, but when we open our eyes, we feel as if we have fought an invisible battle. This feeling is not a coincidence. There is a mystery hidden behind the night, something that goes beyond physical rest and touches spiritual and energetic dimensions. Science tries to explain only how the brain organizes memories or how the body recovers its strength. But the truth is that sleep hides a much deeper field of experiences, and understanding this process can completely change the way we wake up each day. And here an essential reflection arises. If sleeping were just turning off the body, why do so many continue to wake up without energy, even after getting the recommended amount of sleep? What if, on the contrary, sleep were a kind of portal in which consciousness remains active, traveling through invisible territories? These questions open up a path of investigation that science has not yet closed, but that ancient traditions have been exploring for thousands of years. Before we move on, take a moment to enjoy this video and write in the comments how you usually feel when you wake up. Your interaction strengthens this community and can inspire others to look more closely at this topic. In the spiritual traditions of India, sleep was never seen as just a pause. It was understood as a secret channel, capable of connecting human beings to the inner universe. Sacred texts, such as the Upanishads, speak of 3 fundamental stages. First, darkness, the dive into an invisible dimension where consciousness is lost. Then, the dream, the moment when the spirit builds its own worlds, mixing memories, desires, and symbols. Finally, tranquility, the stage in which the body rests deeply, but the essence remains awake, touching a higher level of reality. This last stage is considered the true jewel of sleep, for in it spiritual clarity is achieved. The Mandukya Upanishad describes this state of tranquility as a gateway to enlightenment. There, the mind does not create images, does not fabricate stories, does not get lost in daydreams. It is pure, silent presence in which consciousness rests in itself. This point is not only biological, it is an experience of inner expansion. But in today's world, this wisdom has been forgotten. We limit sleep to the idea that it is a time to reset the brain. By reducing something so vast to a material explanation, we miss the chance to explore its sacred dimension. This view still lives on in practices such as Yoga Nidra. This technique, developed centuries ago, transforms the act of sleeping into a conscious exercise. While the body relaxes deeply, the mind remains awake. Those who practice it report waking up feeling lighter, with renewed energy and mental clarity. Recent studies confirm that Yoga Nidra reduces stress levels, improves memory, and even helps with emotional balance. What seems like simple lying down meditation is actually a sophisticated spiritual science that teaches us to use the night as a field of power. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna that those who seek the truth remain awake even when everyone else is asleep. This phrase should not be understood literally, but as a symbol. Consciousness can be alert even during sleep. This shows that rest is not an end in itself, but a means to achieve greater lucidity. The body may be immobile, but the essence remains active in another dimension. Modern science describes this phenomenon in sleep cycles. The REM stage, for example, is when the most intense dreams occur. During this period, the brain is almost as active as in the waking state. Images arise, emotions intensify, and the mind creates complete stories. It is at this moment that we expend an enormous amount of energy, as if we were running in an internal movie. The body rests, but the mind works. This paradox explains much of the tiredness upon waking. However, there is a crucial difference between those who enter the night consciously and those who enter it in a scattered manner. Those who prepare their minds, clear their emotions, and create clear intentions go through the night much more lightly. Those who surrender to sleep burdened with worries, connected to screens until the last moment, end up experiencing heavy and confusing dreams, waking up drained. This difference shows that sleep is not just biology, but also a spiritual choice. Many ancient peoples recognized this truth. In Egypt, dreams were believed to be divine messages. The Greeks had temples dedicated to sleep, where priests guided people to healing experiences during the night. Among the Hebrews, dreams were considered revelations, paths through which the sacred communicated. In all these cultures, sleep was seen as something much deeper than rest. It was an opportunity to connect with invisible forces. The problem is that, in the modern world, we treat the night as if it were just the absence of light. We go to bed unprepared, carrying excess stimuli, and expect the body to solve everything. But the body cannot cleanse the emotional and spiritual marks we carry on its own. We must learn to guide our consciousness, prepare the environment, and cultivate practices that make sleep a portal to renewal. Those who ignore this aspect wake up confused, heavy, and unfocused. Those who understand and apply these practices wake up closer to their essence. Sleep becomes a laboratory for spiritual expansion, where each night is an opportunity for healing. When we realize this, we see that the key is not in the number of hours, but in the vibrational quality with which we enter the darkness of night. Have you ever felt that even though you sleep a lot, you still wake up tired? Have you noticed that the way you go to bed totally influences your awakening? If so, write in the comments, "I want to wake up renewed." This statement is not just a phrase. It is a vibrational commitment to your own consciousness. And take the opportunity to share this video, because many people still don't know that the night holds secrets that can transform their lives. Sleeping is not just closing your eyes. It is opening a door to hidden dimensions where the spirit remains active. The difference between waking up drained or waking up strengthened lies in how we choose to walk through that door. The night can be an invisible prison or a sacred temple. The choice is in our hands. Every night, when we fall asleep, we enter an invisible territory we call dreams. Some seem so real that when we wake up, we still feel intense emotions. Others are confusing, strange, or even scary. But they all have something in common. They consume vital energy. The brain doesn't just invent random stories. It goes through profound processes, connects to old memories, touches hidden dimensions, and even glimpses possible future scenarios. Science recognizes that sleep involves intense nervous system activity, but it still doesn't fully explain why we wake up tired even after a long night. Imagine the following. When we spend the whole day running, working, or dealing with worries, the body reaches its limit and asks for rest. Similarly, the mind, when going through hours of restless dreams, also wastes a lot of energy. That is why so many people wake up feeling heavy, as if they had fought secret battles during the night. The mind does not rest, but remains active, creating scenarios and emotions that drain our strength. The most striking thing is that this exhaustion does not only happen while we sleep. It starts earlier in the way we prepare for the night. Today, most of humanity goes to bed with their cell phones in their hands, scrolling through social media, absorbing negative news, or responding to messages until the last minute. This excess of stimuli does not allow the mind to shut down. Thus, we fall asleep loaded with tensions, anxieties, and comparisons. The result is inevitable: heavy, unclear dreams that leave us even more exhausted when we wake up. The night should be a process of purification, but becomes an extension of daytime worries. Instead of letting go, we accumulate even more. This explains why even 8 hours of sleep are not enough. The body may be immobile, but the mind continues to run in circles. Waking up, then, brings not relief but confusion. Ancient traditions already warned of this phenomenon. In Indian Tantra, personal energy is protected by an aura, a subtle field that surrounds every human being. This aura is like a vibrational shield against external influences. However, during sleep, especially when we are emotionally fragile, this protection weakens. It is at this moment that our energy can disperse, leaving us vulnerable. This weakening explains why some dreams continue to impact the entire day. They are not just unreal images. These are experiences in which part of the vital energy has been drained. Ancient texts called this theft of consciousness. It was not a metaphor, but the perception that sleep, when poorly conducted, could drastically reduce vitality. Think about when you have woken up after a disturbing dream, carrying the feeling that something has been lost. The body awakens, but the mind remains trapped in what it has experienced. This is a clear sign that energy has shifted and has not returned in its entirety. Throughout the day, this loss translates into discouragement, difficulty concentrating, and even a greater propensity for negative emotions. But there's a different path. It is possible to learn to keep consciousness active even while we sleep. This practice is called conscious sleep. This does not mean that we will stay awake all night, but that we can train the mind not to get completely lost in the labyrinths of dreams. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, and attention exercises develop this ability. Yoga Nidra is a powerful example of this practice. In it, the person lies down in complete rest, but is guided to keep the mind awake at subtle levels. This prevents energy dispersion and even increases vitality. Modern studies show that Yoga Nidra practitioners wake up more rested and less anxious. This shows that the secret lies not only in the number of hours, but in the quality of consciousness during the night. Another essential point is to understand that dreams are not just meaningless projections. They reflect hidden parts of the psyche, repressed desires, fears, or fragments of unresolved memories. When a mind is unprepared, these contents emerge chaotically, creating narratives that drain us. But when we approach the night with awareness, dreams can become messages, guidance, and even tools for self-knowledge. Modern psychology agrees with this, stating that dreams function as a mirror of the unconscious. But spiritual traditions go further. They claim that the soul travels in invisible dimensions during the night. This view explains why some dreams bring such intense sensations, as if they were real experiences. In these moments, consciousness touches territories that are not limited to the imagination. And here is a powerful truth. The way we prepare our mind before going to sleep defines the type of journey we will take. Those who fall asleep carelessly experience dispersion and loss of energy. Those who prepare themselves with breathing, silence, positive affirmations, and a clean environment transform the night into a laboratory of power. This is the difference between waking up drained and waking up strengthened. If you have noticed that your dreams often drain your energy, comment below, "I choose to recover my energy." This phrase is not just a comment, but a vibrational statement that marks your decision to change. And take the opportunity to share this video, because many people suffer in silence with heavy nights and do not know that there is a way out. Returning to the central point, we cannot treat the night as if it were just the absence of light. We need to see it as a field of spiritual experiences. Sleep is a journey, and each person can choose how to traverse it. Ancient cultures knew this and therefore cultivated rituals before bedtime. Egypt saw dreams as divine messages. Greece had temples of sleep where people sought healing. India preserved practices of Yoga Nidra and nighttime meditations. All these peoples understood that sleep was as sacred as wakefulness. Today, we have forgotten this wisdom and turned the night into a purposeless routine. But we can reclaim this knowledge. Just start with small steps. Step away from screens. Breathe consciously. Release heavy emotions. Declare positive intentions. These simple gestures strengthen the aura, calm the mind, and create space for the night to be truly transformative. If the mind is a mirror of the day, we need to learn to clean it before falling asleep. That way, dreams cease to be confusing labyrinths and become useful messages. Sleep ceases to be a loss and becomes a gain. And awakening becomes an opportunity for rebirth, in which we wake up closer to our true essence. Sleep is not just a biological necessity. It is a daily opportunity for healing, self-knowledge, and spiritual expansion. Each night is a portal, and each morning is proof of how we crossed it. The choice is ours. Continue wasting energy or learn to transform the night into a source of power. Now that we know that sleep is a spiritual and energetic journey, the most important question remains: how can we transform this journey into a conscious, balanced, and truly restorative process? It is not enough to simply close our eyes and wait for the body to take care of everything on its own. The night can be a prison that drains our strength or a temple that multiplies our energy. The difference lies in our preparation and how we guide our consciousness. One of the first steps in transforming sleep is to understand that it does not begin when you lie down. It begins much earlier in the choices made throughout the day. The way we deal with stress, how we feed the mind, and how we prepare the environment directly influences the type of journey we will have. If we spend the day immersed in anxiety, chaotic information, and constant stimuli, we carry that weight into the night. If, on the contrary, we learn to slow down, breathe, and cultivate calm, we create the basis for a clearer night. That's why small practices before bed are so powerful. Digital detox, for example, removes screens and interrupts the flow of artificial stimuli that keep the mind alert. By creating this space of silence, we give our consciousness the opportunity to retreat and prepare. Similarly, conscious breathing acts as a bridge between the hectic state of the day and the necessary calm of the night. Breathing in deeply, holding for a few seconds, and exhaling slowly creates a vibration of serenity that guides the mind to more subtle layers. Another essential resource is emotional cleansing. How often do we go to bed carrying arguments, regrets, and worries? These fragments do not disappear on their own. They return in the form of heavy, repetitive, and tiring dreams. Mentally reviewing the events of the day and saying, "What happened is over, I am free," is a simple gesture, but one that can liberate the consciousness. This release allows the night to be used for regeneration, rather than repeating unconscious dramas. Practices such as meditation or Yoga Nidra further enhance this process. They not only calm the mind, but also keep the consciousness partially awake during sleep. This subtle lucidity prevents energy from dispersing into confusing dreams. Instead of waking up drained, the person awakens strengthened, with mental clarity and vitality. Those who experience these states understand that the night can be a silent school, where invisible lessons are received. Another essential point is mental programming. Before going to bed, repeating positive phrases creates direct commands to the subconscious. Phrases such as, "My consciousness is protected. I will wake up refreshed and full of energy," work like seeds planted in the inner field. During the night, These seeds blossom in the form of clearer dreams, preserved energy, and a feeling of protection. The mind follows the established script instead of getting lost in random narratives. But it is not enough to take care of the mind alone. The physical environment also needs to be treated as sacred. The room where we sleep should be clean, simple, and free of energetic pollution. Accumulated objects, excess electronic devices, and clutter vibrate negatively, directly interfering with sleep. Creating a harmonious space with soft scents, candles, or crystals helps strengthen the aura. This environment acts as a shield, protecting energy during the night. Another transformative element is intention. Before closing your eyes, declare internally the purpose of your night. It could be, I will go through the night in peace and wake up refreshed. Sleeping without intention is like embarking on a journey without a destination. Sleeping with purpose gives direction to the consciousness, which finds paths aligned with that goal. This simple decision completely changes the nighttime experience. Those who adopt these practices discover something extraordinary. Dreams begin to transform. They cease to be just chaotic repetitions of memories and become messages, guidance, and even spiritual exercises. Instead of wasting energy, the person begins to regain strength during sleep. Awakening is no longer heavy and becomes a daily rebirth. Ancient traditions have always valued this wisdom. In Egypt, there were temples dedicated to sleep, where people sought healing through guided dreams. In Greece, the priests of Asclepius used sleep as a tool for revelation. In India, masters taught practices such as Yoga Nidra to keep the consciousness awake during the night. All these cultures understood that sleep was a field of power. Today, it is up to us to recover this knowledge and integrate it into our daily lives. Modern science, although using different language, is beginning to reach similar conclusions. Studies show that practices such as meditation and breathing before bed reduce stress levels, improve sleep quality, and strengthen the immune system. This confirms that preparation is as important as the number of hours slept. What ancient traditions add is that this preparation can also lead us to higher states of consciousness. By uniting science and spirituality, we find the key to completely transforming our relationship with the night. We can use modern knowledge to understand biological processes and, at the same time, recover ancient practices that teach us to guide our consciousness. This union allows us to experience lighter nights and more powerful days. That is why every night should be seen as an opportunity for healing and rebirth. The way you navigate the darkness of night defines the energy with which you will wake up. Waking up tired or waking up refreshed is not a matter of chance, but a consequence of the choices you make before going to bed. The night could be a loss or a gain. The choice is in your hands. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments, "Now I am truly awake." This phrase symbolizes a vibrational commitment to transforming your night into a source of power. Take the opportunity to enjoy this video, share it with friends, and subscribe, because together we can spread this awareness and help thousands of people regain energy and clarity. Remember, every time you close your eyes, you're not just sleeping. You are passing through an invisible portal. You can lose yourself in illusions, or you can use the night as a temple of renewal. Tomorrow's awakening begins now, in the choices you make before bed. When this truth becomes clear, life changes completely. The night ceases to be an enemy and becomes an ally, and each dawn becomes a new birth, full of energy, peace, and power.